So I'd love to hear your point of view in terms of how do you maintain your focus, or do you have a particular productivity system that helps you get through what you do in a day?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a strong believer in focus. So I cannot tolerate multiple browser tabs being open.
Mm-hmm.
It drives my husband crazy because he loves browser tabs, and
Yeah.
like I cannot use his computer. Like if we're trying to plan like a trip or a vacation or a wedding, he has all these browsers, and my brain just starts going crazy as soon as I see his computer. Right. So we have to go grab my computer, and because he'll go crazy if I start closing his. I used to start closing all his browser tabs on him,
right.
And like, so we have big fights over browser tabs. That's like the number one issue in the relationship. But I need to focus. Yeah, it's a big problem though. Like we literally cannot share like computers. But in any event, so I like basically like my desk at work and at home is always perfectly clean. There's nothing on it because I don't want my brain to get distracted. So like I visually eliminate clutter. My house is always perfectly clean because I don't want anything out of place because my brain just doesn't process stuff well that way.
Yeah.
What I'll do at dinner, most of my friends are on this page, but when we're out at dinner, I have an absolute rule that you can't check your phone. And I get furious at people if they pull out their phone. I will actually kick them out of like invites to future dinners if they pull out their phone.
Yeah.
So I really like, there's an occasion like a casual dinner if like we're getting like a burger after a workout or something. Yeah. But any sit down dinner, I'm like notorious for like, thou shalt not open their phone unless you're like dying or like your significant other is dying. And so I try to like eliminate that, but then, there's times a day when I don't mind, like as we discussed, sitting in an Uber, I think it's perfectly fine to consume social media. Or I wake up in the morning often and I'll relax by reading Twitter and just see what's going on in the world. I can get a quick feel for what's going on in politics and technology and sports by scanning Twitter. So I like having like an espresso or green tea, iced green tea in the morning and kind of reading Twitter as a way of kind of waking up, getting my brain acclimated to what's happened overnight while I was sleeping. So I think that's perfectly a fine use of social media. Yeah. But I'll typically, when I want to dial into something, when I want to do real work, I try to eliminate as many distractions as possible.
I love it. And that's, I think, very much aligned with sort of the principles of dopamine fasting, which is trying to compartmentalize it, right? Sounds like for you, social media in the kind of that brain warm up time in the morning is used or kind of in between off times. But it sounds like, you absolutely are kind of quote unquote dopamine fasting during meals, which is like focus on the meal, don't focus on your phones, and don't distract yourself from the social engagement that's present there.
Even when I do, like we do date nights, like with my partner, and I'll try to put my phone sometimes in the other part of the house so I can't even get distracted with it. Try to put it away physically so I don't have a tendency to pick it up.
Totally. I love the anecdote, by the way, about the clean house and the clean desk. I think, I joke that like two of the biggest influencers, Marie Kondo and Jordan Peterson, were admonishing people to clean their rooms about a year ago. But it's interesting. Like one of my observations as a psychologist, I almost feel like you can almost tell someone's mental state by, the state of how the changes in how they keep their room. Like when they're stressed and chaotic, it's expressed almost externally in terms of, how they keep their room. And when things are nice and organized, then obviously they're kind of doing better in life. So I almost feel like it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. So my recommendation to people is always at least keep your desk clean, because it's like your one professional refuge, and it just helps you keep your focus a little bit.
Yeah, I found that to be very successful. I mean, if I'm in the middle of writing a complicated, let's say, brief when I was a lawyer, I might have index cards with different paragraphs, different precedent, like, kind of displayed across my desk and then shuffle them around. So if you watch me in the middle of writing something complicated, you might see like papers on my desk because I'm kind of visually moving them around. But as soon as I've drafted it, that desk is immaculate. And even probably every night, it's probably immaculate. I probably won't even leave them out.